Welcome to the Women Seen and Heard podcast. Want to become a more confident presenter and conference speaker? Meet Anita Perez Ferguson and Lois Phillips, who are the co-authors of the Women Seen and Heard Speakers Journal, and they want to share what they've learned about women's speaking styles from their professional speaking careers. In each weekly podcast, they'll select and take turns responding to one prompt taken from the Speaker's Journal. In the closing moment, they offer a simple single tip you can put to use right away. Enjoy.
Anita, I have a question for you from our chapter about dynamic speakers are authentic. Know yourself, be yourself. And here's the quote. There are always some topics that we would die on our sword to defend. On what topic might people perceive you as being inflexible, abrasive, or having an edge? And how do you feel about that?
Well, that's another good question for you, Lois. What it makes me think of is how you notice when somebody backs away from you ever so slightly when they ask you a question. That is a sure sign that they have identified it as a hot topic for you, that you have an edge on that topic. So acknowledge the hesitations when you see them coming from people who are a little concerned about your edge, no matter what form it takes. You may need to take the lead sometimes and say things like, I noticed no one asked me about such and such. Bring it up yourself. In my case, immigration policy is an issue that always leads to strong feelings. My own family background and experiences that shared my youth and taught me some things that I had to learn and relearn and understand as adults. It's always helpful to approach your hot-button issues by making a distinction between something that is a conviction and something that is a commitment. Let me explain that. I see a conviction as being internal, an internal belief often tied to your entire mindset. It's part and parcel of an individual's framework for life. A commitment, on the other hand, is a reasoned decision. It may be based on experience, but also it's fact-based evidence. What distinguishes your commitments and your convictions is your clear ownership and decision-making abilities. You're not trying to force everyone to agree with you. So when it comes to being abrasive or having an edge, make sure you're working from your commitments so people can hear you, not from your conviction so people feel bullied by you. When you express yourself using these terms, your listeners are offered a rationale for your actions. You're explaining yourself, and you might say, my decision is based on what I've seen to be true in my life. And I understand that not everyone shares the same beliefs. Now, no matter what, it's important to be authentic and to be your true self. But make that distinction between your convictions and your commitments. And that will help people hear you even when you have an edge about what you're talking about. Remember that this podcast schedule can be found at Women Seen and Heard on Facebook.